All right, Sister Jeannie. What Miss Pris doing? What Miss Pris doing? All right, Sister Jeannie, let me get on off of here. I am on live right now. All right. All right, y'all. That was my mama. I'm sorry. I was talking about something else. Ladies and gentlemen, our next special guest is one half of the R&B triple platinum group As Yet. Mr. Marc Nelson will be joining me today. He's not only a singer and songwriter, but he's also done some acting as well, too. Let's welcome our very special guest, Mr. Marc Nelson.
Hey.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Dollhouse.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. It is such an honor to have you here, my legend.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you.
It is so great to have you here. So let's get into it. Before we get into the interview, how's 2022 been for you thus far? Like, how has this year been? Because it's been an exhausting year. It's been wild from 2020 to 2021 and now
Absolutely.
2022. So yeah.
No, it's been great for me. I'm alive. Just had a birthday. My birthday is January 23rd.
Happy belated.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so off to a really great start. Just got some really good news on a deal that I was looking to close in the entertainment business. So I'm very excited about that. I'll share that with you at some point. But yeah, wonderful. How about you? How's the year starting for you?
It's been exhausting. We've lost so many people, but
yeah.
you just got to keep going 100%.
Yeah,
The spirit lives on through us.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
All right, Fashion Doll. So let's get into it. Your mother was late singer Phyllis Nelson. Tell us about that and what made you get into the music industry.
That's a good question. My mother was definitely into music. Just being a child, though, I was a typical child. I really wasn't thinking about music. I didn't really care that much about music, even though she was all in it. And she actually kind of sheltered us meaning me and my brother, from anything that surrounded her fame and success and stuff, just to preserve us being normal kids. But the music was always around me, so I clearly loved it. But it was when I was in 7th grade that a group called New Edition came out. And Candy Girl was the first single. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And I've been loving it ever since. So I kind of give it to New Edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were born and raised in Philly. I have family in Philly as well, too.
Oh, okay.
So how many brothers? How many sisters?
So I have one brother that I grew up with on my mother's side. On my father's side, I have I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. Yeah. So I have a big family. And it's funny because I'm like right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And you also attended Philly's High School of Performing Arts. What was that experience like for you?
Philly, it's called Kappa, Creative Performing Arts High School. And I always tell people, for me, Kappa was literally like this movie / TV show called Fame. And it's because it was a place that, even though you had your academics, you get to nurture, your creative energy. So I had at least 5 classes of nothing but music. And then and it's really cool because the school itself sort of cracked the shyness I used to have, the inhibitions as a young teenager that you would feel about things. It allowed me to spread my wings and be certain of who I am, as a creative person. So yeah, I give everything to my high school. Kappa for life.
Okay. And you were
Yeah.
also one of the original members of Boys to Men. What was that like for you
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
in this group?
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, I always tell people it had its ups and downs because of you know, not really being able to fully participate in the Boys to Men journey. But me and Nate co-founded the group. One thing led to another. Met an original member of New Edition, Michael Bivens, and then I went on to write and produce records for various people. One of my biggest idols was Babyface. Hence, moving on to being in the lead singer of the group as yet. Mm-hmm.
Someone was just, my girl Fashionistas was just singing the lyrics to last night. I'm trying to pay attention to you in the comments. So the song is playing in my head. I would have
Yeah,
played it in the beginning of our interview, but I
it's
said, I
okay.
know how Instagram is
It's
with
okay.
copyright, and I ain't trying to
Yeah.
be an IG. Okay.
It's all good.
So
Yep. Last night was my single.
after
That's
Boy,
it. Mm-hmm.
yes, you've opened the song last night, and I was just flipping through the pages of Essence magazine, and I seen your group. They were doing a contest with what's it's my favorite hair relaxer, Soft and Beautiful.
Is that
Yes. Yes.
right?
Y'all did a contest for I think it was the Soft and Beautiful Lady or something.
Okay.
And this was around the time when the single was out. It would have been 97,
Oh,
98, and had
90,
Janet.
96, 97. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Janet
Absolutely.
Jackson was on the cover. So I remember
Ah.
flipping through that. Um,
Ah.
yes.
That's what.
Yeah, let's say Janet is Janet.
Yeah, Janet is Janet.
So I was
Yeah.
flipping through and I said, oh my God, yes, that's his group As Yet. So
Yep. Yep.
As Yet, it has so many amazing members. Each and every one of you had your own vocal ability and range.
Mm-hmm.
And you opened the song last night, and the album was
Mm-hmm.
produced by LaFace Records and
Mm-hmm.
Babyface. This is around
Exactly.
the time Soul Food was out, 97.
That's right. That's right.
So the writing process for this song, As Yet, how did this song come together collectively?
So when I signed with LaFace Records with As Yet, the first person that I got to sit with was Babyface, and he presented 6 records that he felt was good for our group. And I always get excited telling the story that one of my friends is probably watching right now, is that I was so in awe of Babyface. Okay, like you don't understand, like mentor for days, right? I wanted to work with him since I was in 10th grade, and I'm signed to LaFace Records. That's mind blowing. And then I get this, one of the representatives says, "Okay, so here's Babyface Kenny. Here's Babyface address. He wants you to go over there at 2 o'clock." And I'm looking at the address like, I'm going to Babyface's house. Like, this is crazy. Anyway, we show up, we go into his house, we sit down in the library, and he presents 6 songs. One of them was Last Night, that Face co-wrote with Keith Andes, an incredible songwriter. And once he played the 6 records, he had the nerve to ask us, do we like the songs? I'm like, oh, man, of course we love everything you do. That's a given, right? And about an hour later, we are starting to record Last Night right there in his house, because he had a full-blown, incredibly sophisticated recording facility. And that's how it started. Mm-hmm.
So did you guys have any idea that this song was going to be a chart topper? I mean, you had Last Night and you had Hard to Say I'm Sorry. And another one of my favorites, which should have been a hit off of that album, was number 11, Inseparable Lovers. That
Oh,
is
thank
one of
you.
my favorites.
Thank you. So to answer your question, you know, I had to be honest. I was nervous about the whole process because Face and LaFace, they kept having hit after hit after artist, hit after hit after hit. And I'm never pessimistic, but this particular time I was like, now watch us be the first project that just tanks. Right? So I wasn't sure, but I did trust them in their process of, creating hit records and and so on. So I just stayed on pins and needles about the release of Last Night. I just didn't know what it was going to do because I just didn't want to get my hopes up too high, which I should not have thought that way. But yeah, I wasn't sure.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you've got the hit single out. I've watched the performance on the Apollo as well
Mm-hmm.
too. The song is already on the charts, killing it.
Yep.
And then Hard to Say I'm
I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
which is
Yep.
another one of my favorites as well too.
Thank you.
Now, what's running through your mind when you're on set doing the music videos? Because shout outs to Fashion. She said, I remember the video for Last Night. I
Yeah.
remember the lyrics, word for word, everything. So what's running through your mind when you're on set and you're in the process of shooting your music video for this single?
So a number of things. As I said, loving Babyface, LaFace Records, L.A. Reid, the whole empire, and you're realizing, wait a second, you are now a part of this family. You are on LaFace Records. You're on the set of shooting the music video. If it couldn't get any better, the original singer of Hard to Say I'm Sorry, this is a cover that was originally done by the group called Chicago. And the lead singer to that was a gentleman named Peter Cetera, huge icon in the business. And LaFace Records was able to get him to be in the music video. So that just topped it all off. That I think at that moment I knew, yeah, we're about to really, really do very well in this industry, you know, as a group. But it just stayed surreal for me, very just surreal because like it's something that you dream of all your life, and here you are, you're doing what you love to do, you know, at a very high level. So yeah, it was incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the success.
Mm-hmm.
Babyface also asked you guys to go on tour with El DeBarge and After Seven. I know
Mm-hmm.
if I was born, I was born in the 90s, but if
Yeah.
I was born into that era, I would have been like 4 years old when
See.
Last Night came out. If I was there, I would be fanning out because it's just like all of these mega sensations all on one stage together.
Yep.
What was running through your mind? Because you guys were at this concert with El DeBarge and After Seven.
Yeah. Again, you know, not to sound like a broken record, you know, when it pops, it pops. And so it's just a flood of opportunities. It's a flood of everything going right, you know, which is an artist's total dream. And because you are in it and you have a job to do, you almost don't get a real opportunity to bask in what's happening. You just gotta be a part of it. Every now and again, you go, "Oh snap, that's Janet Jackson." Okay, that's not you know, yo, that's Tony Braxton. I was, you know, you just have to pull yourself together and do what you are there for. You know, so total blessings, very exciting, but it was more so we're focused on what we're here to do and make it happen. You know, because even though you are admiring them, you are now developing people who admire you. And you have to really be focused on your A game because you're in the big leagues now, you know. So
Okay, so
yeah.
we're gonna go through like a time capsule. We just did
Yep.
96 through 97 through
Uh-huh.
98.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to 98 through 99. All right, Best Man soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the most beautiful singles. All after all is said is done with one of my favorites, and I love
Thank you
this.
very
This is
much.
my girl now.
Thank you.
Y'all
Thank
know I'm a big Beyonce fan. Beyonce and you did the duet for
you.
The Best Man,
Yep,
and
we
it was
did.
after all is said and done, which is a beautiful song.
Thank you very
All
much.
right,
I appreciate that.
what was it like collaborating with Beyonce? Did you guys both have any idea that this was going to be on the soundtrack, even make the cut?
Well, to answer your first question, an incredible experience. Obviously, we know who the Queen Bee is. And it's really, really cute that this was pre Queen Bee. She was just coming off of Destiny's Child, and we were on tour together on the fan mail tour with TLC. So
Yes.
it was me as a solo artist, Destiny's Child, and TLC. I think we were about to go on that tour. I don't know if we did it yet, but we just so happened to be on the same record label, Columbia Records. And there was a transition in executives who called me up and said, hey, why don't you go down to the studio with Beyonce because we want you on this soundtrack called The Best Man. I was like, oh, let me back up. I saw the movie first, and I didn't know I was going to be singing that song on the soundtrack. I saw the movie to write songs for the soundtrack first. And then I get a call from, I think it was Polk from the Trackmasters, who were the executives over at Columbia. And he said, yeah, why don't you go down and sing this record with Beyonce? I was like, wow, really? Okay. So I went down. And to have that moment with Beyonce and record that record was awesome. You know, again, you know, you don't really know. I don't really know if artists, I can't speak for everybody. I don't think we're knowing a song is going to be a hit record. We're just kind of hoping for the best, you know. We know we love the record, but every new song that you put out, it always feels like the first one because you just want it to do so well, but you don't have this just, yeah, I just know it's going to blow up. We never feel that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of 1999, you know what singer I'm about to talking about.
Yeah. All I got is 15 minutes.
Yes.
All right.
And I was shocked to see who the leading lady was in your video.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, Gabrielle
Union. She's so big. So big. Shout outs to her hairstylist, Larry Sims. I follow him. They follow me here. So shout outs to them 100%. Shout outs to Zaya, Dwayne. How did you have a say so in who was going to be your leading lady in that video?
Oh, absolutely. It's my video. Of course I did. That being said, you know, it's funny. You're taking me down memory lane. And I'm recognizing that throughout my career, I always will catch these collaborations with artists who are just about to blow up. You know what I'm saying? Because I caught Beyonce the same way, and then I caught Gabrielle Union the exact same way. But she was just coming into her own. And yeah, I had to say, I was like, you know, it's so funny because out of the choice, it was quite a few people who are just huge now, and I was like, yeah, I want Gabrielle Union to play this part, and she was happy to do it, and yeah, I'm gonna give her away, but she was a little nervous about doing the music video. She was a little nervous about it, but that's not it. Yeah, so yeah, no, it was great working with her though.
And this was around the time that she did Bring It On. Bring It On came out in 2000. Yeah. Yes. And then you said 99, you went on a fan mail tour. Beyonce just released The Writings on the Wall.
Yeah.
So both albums, Fan Mail and The Writings on the Wall. I mean, 99 was such a great era for music. The 90s in general, such a great era for music.
It was very much.
My next question for you is, do you feel as though R&B music has kind of took a shift when it comes to boy bands? Because we hardly see boy bands or just girl groups, any groups in general that are out here. I mean, they're very few, very little.
Yes, definitely a major turn. You know, I don't know if I'm in a position to say if it's for the best or the worst. I will say it's definitely different. But I think, you know, because of my peers when I started were just trying to, you know, make a name for themselves in terms of executives, like Jay Brown. Jay Brown manages Jay-Z, Rihanna, was it Big Sean, a whole bunch of people. That was my dude years ago, and he was trying to come up just like I was. I said that to say, these executives, they're all like my peers and some are friends who are developing these new groups that you're talking about. And I think they're trying to get it back to how it used to be. Artist development was a very big thing in the 90s, you know, and I think people are starting to care about it more than what I've seen lately. So, yeah, it's been different, but it's a good look so far.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I remember, who was it? It was Coco from SWV. She said something in her extent with her group, artist development as well too. You know, Brian Morgan, who written songs for them, and so many others.
Yeah.
It's all about artist development.
Absolutely.
But I said, why aren't there? I kind of had to ask that question because I'm just like, I see a lot of solo artists out here. Shout outs to Jasmine Sullivan and all of them who are out here doing their thing. But I'm just like, where are the boy bands? I mean, 112 is still doing their thing. They're still touring. Drew Hill is still touring. They're still out here. Cisco, all of them, they're still out here touring and doing their things. But I'm just like, where are the rest of them? You know, the other group, the Aztecs and After Seven and some of the others.
Yeah, well, you know, it's really funny when you just really have me think about things I hadn't spent any time thinking about in a while. I think the turn came about after the exhaustion of mechanically putting groups together like American Idol or making it a band. You know, the groups in my era, I mean, I grew up with Nate, Juan, Sean, and Mike, with Dion, you know, Kenny, Sean, and Daryl. I didn't technically grow up with them, but we all from Philadelphia, you know. So there was already that synergy. You're looking at Jagged Edge. They're twin brothers, you know what I'm saying? So there was already that harmony, no pun intended, but there was already that chemistry there. Then you go into this age of, well, you know, let's put this guy with this guy and this guy with that guy, and let's take a look at. And it was artist development, but it was no chemistry. Like, you know, I could look at as yet any one of the members while we're singing and know what he's thinking and feeling, and just I got you. You know what I'm saying? And then it's telepathy, like, because you just been together forever. Here, you're piecing people together who don't know each other. And then I think after draining that whole cow, I don't know, I think it left everybody kind of like, well, what do we do now? You know, I think it just brainwashed, or it just put newcomers in the mindset that maybe that's how you have to put a band together. That, like, not down the street or the school that you go to, hey, you sing, yo, I sing, let's do this. You know what I mean? My man around the block, he was X, Y, and Z, let's get it together. I don't see that today.
Yeah, that nostalgia is what everyone is looking for. We're now in the age of verses. And I had to ask, if you could do a versus with any boy band that is still here, that is still together, I mean, everything in full motion, who would you like to do a versus with?
Oh, wow. All right, let me just be honest. Let me just be straight with you. I truly believe if, like, Simon Cowell had ever asked me to be a judge on American Idol, I would have turned him down, because I don't believe in competition when it comes to creativeness. You see what I'm saying? I think Mint Condition is incredible.
Oh.
You know, Drew Hill, Jodeci, 112, All for One, my group, As Yet, my group, Boys to Men, all of us just brought something else and different. So what is the purpose of verses? Not to diss it, but just to say, I don't know who I'm going to compare my thing with to another group. Now, if you put a gun to my head, it would be As Yet and Boys to Men. Boys to Men would reign supreme in how many hits they have, because As Yet technically only did one CD as a unit. But in terms of caliber and quality, Boys to Men all day. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So you've also done some stage plays as well too. It's a completely different thing. What was it like for you? Because I know I've interviewed some actors and actresses that have done Broadway, who have done stage plays and things, and it's a whole different arena than just taping a regular television show. Like, if you
Yeah.
forget your words and everything, like, this is in real time. What was your experience with being on stage?
Well, my first experience was tragic, but it was beautiful at the same time because I just felt like I was thrown in the pack of wolves of veteran actors, and
All
I had
right.
I had to learn a whole new monster called entertainment in the acting world. And I just felt very uncomfortable about even calling myself an actor because I believe in development. I believe in learning the craft and respecting those who have been doing it forever, you know. So, first time I'm doing it, I'm on stage with like Tommy Payne, what's that name? Um, the one from the Tyler Perry's what's it, something Payne, I forgot his first name. I say Carl, no, not Carl Payne. Anyway, and then I was on stage with just some heavy hitters, and I did so bad. They fired me like after the first two shows, and I'm glad they did. I'm so glad they did because I'm a beast now, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like I gets it, because I put time in to study, like real hardcore studying the craft. I can say I'm an actor now, but it took that for me to say, oh, I'm gonna go really, really learn this. I've gone to auditions, got turned down 100 times, just like everybody else. I know how to do this now, and so I'm very proud of being able to say that. But my first experience was whoa, but then my last one was incredible. So
Okay. Okay. So we know that you're also a songwriter as well too.
mm-hmm.
If you could collab or write a song for any artist that is out right now, who would your dream collaboration be? Who would you like to write for?
Oh wow, I want to write for Jasmine Sullivan. I want to write for Ariana Grande. I'd love to write for Adele. It's funny. I once literally almost had a record on Beyonce that she loved. I would really love to do that record with her. And let me think. Who am I missing that I really want to get with? Wow. I'd love to write for Bruno Mars. Whew! Would I love to write for Bruno Mars? What I would give to write for Bruno Mars. Yeah. Yep.
I could see it. I definitely could. Maybe a 15 minutes remix.
No, but I get where you're coming from. No. I'm excited because of what I'm doing today, but when you're in the entertainment business in my time, so to speak, on many occasions, you really didn't get to do what you wanted to do. It was a very rare occasion that you could be your own person totally creatively. Like, there are those, how do you say, self-contained artists that wrote, produced everything that they sang. I really didn't have that luxury fully. So now today, my music is really my music. So I just have what I feel is Marc Nelson that I want to share with the world through the voices of others. And I'm looking to do that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into our games, and then we take some questions from the audience.
Okay.
I asked High Five this question because As Yet, you were part of As Yet and Boys to Men. I've had a couple boy bands on my platform. I had 112, High Five, and then I've had one from Shy, and then I had one from Mint Condition, and now As Yet. So definitely. Okay, if you could trade places with any boy band, which boy band would you like to trade places with?
You mean if I could be in another boy band?
Yeah.
Mint Condition. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because, Stokely had the band factor behind him.
Yes.
It was just constant live music popping off, Yeah, it would be Mint Condition.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
All right, Fashion Dolls. It is time for the rapid five. And Marc has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without.
Oh, wow. please take this the right way, because I mean this in the most humble way, but I can't live without my hearing or my voice. It's pointless. You know, that's two right there. Um, um, I can't live without music. That's three. I can't live without my children, and they're probably the first in line. But was that four? And I can't live without. I guess you would call it a fault, but I can't live without freedom. Did I freeze everybody? Okay. Yeah, I can't live without freedom. I think freedom is everything, meaning being free to express my creative energy when I want to, how I want to, you know. And yeah, I think that's just most important to me. So I fight hard every day to make sure that I keep myself in a position to be able to be as free creatively as I want to. There you go.
100%. All right. That's 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a little bit nervous at this one right here. This next segment is called Turn the Tables. This is where my guests get to ask me questions uncensored and unfiltered. So, Marc?
Yeah. Does it ask you anything?
Yes. As many as you want.
Okay. Our first question is when did you know that your passion for fashion is in your soul?
In my teenage years, I noticed that something was just burning inside of me, that I just had to create. I just had to go out here. I just had a vision. I had a passion. And right after high school, I graduated and I went to beauty school as well too. That's one thing people don't know about me is I went to beauty school and I got my license. And after that, because your parents always ask you, like, what are you going to do when you graduate high school? What are you going to do? What's going to be your next move? And I said, I want to work. And I worked at a hair salon. And that was very, very well. It was a great experience for me, you know, shadowing and working in a salon, doing nails and things like that. And then I just took a break from that and I stopped and I said, what is going to be my next venture after this? It was a great experience for me. Shout outs to the owner and everybody. But I was sitting in my room and I was brainstorming because I'm always writing, putting things together. I love to write. And flipping through magazines, fashion magazines. And my mom was like, well, what are you going to do? So every day on Facebook Live, I remember the time, it was 11 o'clock. I would go live and I would give people beauty tips and just talk about pop culture and things. And I have friends who are also in the industry, like independent artists, singers, songwriters, and actors. And I said, why don't you come on the platform and let's talk about it? So at the time, it wasn't called Style by Stevie. It was called something else. So I said, let's come up with a name. I love fashion and my name is Miss Stevie. So Style by Stevie would be perfect.
Yes,
and that's how it came to be. And I said, I not only want to talk about hair, makeup and things like that, because I want to keep my male audience. I'm a woman. These are things that I love, but I want to keep my male audience as well, too, because I'm like, okay, men have to feel included some type of way. The conversations that we have on this platform, back in 2021, I just added 2 male co-hosts. I was actually going to go with women. It was actually going to be all women. But I said, I've been getting a lot of messages from men like, why is she always going in on the men when it comes to relationship or certain topics and stuff? I'm like, well, how can I give it from that standpoint? When I'm a lady, I'm a woman, I can't give it to you from that way. So, you know, shout outs to Johnny, Marco, EJ, who are also amazing co-hosts here on this platform.
Very cool.
And I said, if we're going to have a conversation, we're going to have it this way. You're going to get the male perspective and you're going to get the female perspective. And you're going to get the fashion. You're going to get the beauty. You're going to get all of that because, you know, a lot of women will sometimes ask, okay, babe, how does this dress look on me? And men will be like, okay, I'm trying to get you out of the dress. So it's something different. But yes,
I get it. Okay.
Definitely. That's kind of how Style by Stevie was formed. At first, it was just me. And I said, let's shake it up and make it interesting. Nobody was expecting me to add co-host. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations on your success with this. Very well. Yep. Do I get to ask another or?
As many as you want.
Okay, so where do you pull your strength from? Like your confidence in you know being able to deal with life in general.
God. I'm a firm believer in spirituality. And
Okay.
God, my mom, she told me, as you get big in this industry, as your name grows, as you elevate, as you go up, don't ever
Mm,
forget to put God first in everything that you do. Don't get
okay.
too big that you don't make time for God. That's what she told me. And
Okay.
growing up in South Carolina, Christianity, growing up in the church is a big deal.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
you know, I always put him first. Every morning I get up and I do my morning devotion. There's not a day I don't go without doing my morning devotion and meditation and just taking that time to sit back and reflect on things. And this morning
Right.
I kind of had a epiphany where I just kind of like, okay, wow, this is unreal. I can't believe that all these things that I've been through, all these things that I've done in my past is now molded me into the person that I am today.
Well, good.
So
Good
yeah.
for you. That's good. That's good. One last question. Um, what is what is the interview that you are dying to do?
I would, if she was still here, I would love to interview Whitney Houston.
Awesome.
I love Whitney. It's
Well,
just
seeing as
something
though you
about her.
can't, I understand. May she rest in peace. What
Yes.
interview are you dying to do?
Which one am I dying to do? Taraji P. Henson.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I go with vibes, I go off for energy, and she's very spunky. She's very funny. The interview would be so much fun.
Yeah,
We would
yeah,
just be rolling off of each other's energy, and it would
yeah,
just be
yeah,
like a high of everything.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Are you on your way to it? You getting it? Are you almost there?
it's
Does she even
coming.
know?
Manifestation.
Well, that's cool. That's good. Well, I'm sure you're gonna be able to do it. That's all I got.
All right, fashion dolls. Any questions for myself or the one and only Mr. Mark Nelson? This was such an amazing interview, and I'm so honored that I got to
Thank
speak with
you.
you.
My pleasure. Any
It was
questions on there?
long overdue. Huh?
Thank you. I said, do they have any questions?
Shout outs to Fashion Rista. Let me do some shout outs before we close out. Shout outs
Okay.
to Wayne DePayne. Shout outs to Miss Amanda. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you all for coming to my previous
Yeah, thank
interview
you.
as well too with Deontay Q Von. Shout outs to him. It was an amazing interview. He's also an artist as well too. So today tied in just perfectly.
Awesome, cool. Do we have anyone that
I
has some
will.
questions at all? Are we good?
I think we're good. No one typed anything yet. So we are going to conclude this in it. Oh, we got one from Lamar. Wait a minute. We got one from Lamar Burno. He said, Mark, what's next for you?
Oh, okay. Yes, so right now, I am preparing to um, do my own radio show. I just got my own radio show at Las Vegas Jammin' 105.7, biggest R&B radio station there. Thank you. My show is like a quiet storm, like Keith Sweat's Sweat Hotel. It's called Marc After Dark. Yeah, and so I'll be on air locally in Vegas from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then we're gonna syndicate it around the country. So that's one of the biggest things that I'm working on right now. Marc After Dark. And what's really cool about it is once a month I'm going to book special guests like my peers. I'm gonna fly them into Vegas, come do my show, and then we're gonna go perform on Friday and Saturday night. Marc After Dark. Yep.
Okay. It sounds a little bit like, because I interviewed Cayman Kelly as well, too. You've mentioned Keith Sweat.
Mm.
Heart, Sirius XM, Heart and Soul.
Yep.
That grown folks music is what they call R&B
Exactly.
era, just
Yep.
giving you back-to-back old school R&B
Exactly.
hits. And
Exactly.
that's what
Yep.
we need. People need that nostalgia,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially in everything that's going on. We can't get that feeling of going back to the concert, but to
That's
just
right.
be old-fashioned and to look through the pages of a CD jacket or
I
to
know,
turn on the
right? Yeah. Yeah.
radio, or everything is so technologized now
Yeah.
where you can
Yeah.
download it.
It sure is. Yep. I love it.
I love the Men of Vocal show. Are there any more shows coming soon?
Yeah. So in my show, Marc After Dark, like I said, once a month we're gonna do a major performance in Vegas that people can come fly in, and it's basically called Men of Vocals. Uh, Before the pandemic, I did my own show called Men of Vocals, and I had Stokely Williams headline that show. Went very well. So when I go back to Vegas and do my radio show, I'll be booking artists to come do this thing called Men of Vocals on a monthly basis. Yeah, so it's gonna be pretty fire.
All right. So we have to stay tuned for that. And just in time for Valentine's Day in February. So, yeah.
Yep. I appreciate you letting me on your show. I really like this.
Thank you. You're welcome back to the Dollhouse anytime.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Any more questions before we conclude, ladies and gentlemen? And I would be remiss if you could just sing one part from last night.
Oh, yeah.
One part.
Last night, you were so into it. You told me secrets that you never told us all. You were so nervous and yet oh so comfortable as we explored your image of love. There you go.
All right, Fashion Dolls. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let everyone know where they can follow you, and is there any words that you would like to give to any singers, songwriters out here who just
Absolutely. Well, you can find me on just about everything that's Marc Nelson, the letter I, M-A-R-C Nelson, from Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all the above. And, for singers, I would basically say, follow your passion and feel. Let yourself feel. Don't be afraid to feel, because that's where you get your source from. If you're touched by it, your audience will be touched by it. All right?
Absolutely, 100%.
All right.
Oh, we got one more question before we go. Lamar wants to know: are you going to redo any of your mom's songs?
That's a good one. I've been asked to do that. I'm not really sure. It's a possibility. I'm not really sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go. Do we have anything else for Marc before we wrap up? This was such an amazing interview. I had such a great time.
Thank you so much, okay?
You're so welcome, and I'd love to speak with you again in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Marc Nelson. Take care.
All right, bye.